The noise complaint came in at 2:37 a.m. on a Friday night in June 2024. My phone vibrated on my nightstand. Barbara Michel, HOA president of Lakeside Gardens. 7 years running this community of 312 homes. I grabbed the phone groggily. Frank Martinez, our security supervisor. Barbara, we have a situation. 23 Oak Ridge Drive. Loud partier. Music. Maybe 30 people. Neighbors are furious. 23 Oak Ridge. The Morrison House. Tom and Linda Morrison lived there 18 years. Quiet, retired couple. Linda died last fall. Tom moved to Arizona. House listed March for $495,000. Still unsold. The Morrison House, but it's empty. For sale. That's what I thought too. But there are cars everywhere. Music blasting? People in the yard? Someone's definitely using that house, and they're definitely not authorized. I threw on clothes, drove toward Oak Ridge. Heard music 3 blocks away, thumping bass. Cars everywhere. Expensive, BMWs, Mercedes. Tesla's music pouring from Morrison House. People on lawn, drinking. String lights up, like a nightclub in our neighborhood. Frank met me at the property line. His security uniform wrinkled from a long night. It's been going on for 3 hours. Started around 11, got progressively louder. The Hendersons next door called first. Then the Yamamoto family across the street. Then 6 more families. Everyone's livid. I walked up the driveway. Knocked on the front door. No answer. The music was deafening. Knocked louder. Finally, the door opened. A woman in her 20s. Cocktail dress. Clearly intoxicated. Yeah. I'm Barbara Mitchell, HOA president. This is private residential property. You need to turn down the music immediately. She giggled. Oh, relax. It's just a party. We paid for the whole weekend. Paid who? The owner. Through Airbnb. $2,000 for 3 nights. We're celebrating my sister's bachelorette party. We have every right to be here. My blood went cold. Airbnb, someone was running an illegal short-term rental out of the Morrison House, in direct violation of HOA covenants, in direct violation of county ordinances. And nobody had noticed until now. Mem, short-term rentals are prohibited in this community. The Homeowners Association does not allow Airbnb or any similar arrangements. You need to vacate immediately. She laughed. That's not my problem. We have a confirmed reservation. We're not going anywhere. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have guests. She slammed the door. I called county sheriff, explained situation. 20 minutes later, Deputy Sarah Collins arrived. Professional. I explained everything. She knocked. Same woman answered. I'm Deputy Collins. Multiple noise complaints. Turn down music and disperse guests. You're violating County Noise Ordinance, Section 12.4. Either comply or I'll cite everyone. $250 per person, 30 people. $7,500 in fines. That got her attention. Fine. Whatever? We'll turn it down. But she didn't disperse the guests. Just turned the music down slightly. Still loud. Still a party. Still 30 people where there should be 0. Deputy Collins and I walked back to the street. I can force them out if you want, but it'll take hours and a lot of paperwork. They have a rental agreement, even if it's illegal. They paid money. Eviction is a civil matter. Best I can do is enforce noise ordinance. Make them turn it down. Keep the peace. What about the illegal rental? Someone is operating an Airbnb in violation of HOA rules and county law. That's between you and the property owner. Find out who owns the house, who listed it on Airbnb, then pursue legal action. But tonight, all I can do is noise enforcement. The music stayed low for about an hour, then crept back up. By 4 a.m., it was almost as loud as before. The party didn't end until 6:30 in the morning, cars finally dispersing as sunrise painted the sky orange. The neighborhood was furious. I got 47 angry calls that morning. People demanding action, demanding accountability, demanding I fix this immediately. Saturday I researched. Tom Morrison still owned it. Coastal Realty Group handling sale Kajed Monde. Got Patricia Chen, listing agent 40-something Pleasant. Ms. Chen, Barbara Mitchell. ROA president. Why was there a party Friday night? Why is the house on Airbnb violating our covenants? Long pause. Airbnb impossible. House is empty. Listed for sale. Well, someone has... Guests told the sheriff's deputy they paid $2,000 for 3 nights. Booked through Airbnb. Someone has access to that house. Someone is listing it illegally. And someone is making money while destroying the peace of our neighborhood. More silence. Then, Ms. Mitchell, I have no idea what you're talking about. I manage that property on behalf of Tom Morrison. He gave me exclusive listing rights. I have the only keys except for the lockbox with the showing code. No one is authorized to rent that house. I certainly didn't list it on Airbnb. This makes no sense. Can you check Airbnb? Search for properties in Lakeside Gardens. Hold on. I heard typing. Then, oh my God. Oh my God. It's there. 23 Oak Ridge Drive. Listed as luxurious lakeside retreat. 4 bedrooms. Sleeps 12. Perfect for events. They're charging $300 per night, minimum 3-night stay. And according to the reviews, they've had 16 bookings in the last 2 months. My stomach dropped. 16 bookings. 2 months. 2 months. While we all thought the house was sitting empty waiting to sell, someone had been running a profitable illegal hotel. Who listed it? Who's the host? The account name is Coastal Getaways. But I've never heard of that. We're Coastal Realty. Completely different. Someone is using a similar name to confuse people. Can you see the host's information? Contact details? No. Airbnb protects host privacy until after booking. All I can see is the listing and reviews. And the reviews are... concerning. Multiple complaints about noise, about parties, about the house being used for events it wasn't designed for. Someone is destroying that property and making money doing it. I called Tom Morrison in Arizona, explained everything. The Airbnb listing. The parties. The 16 bookings. He was speechless. Barbara, I have no idea how this is happening. I gave Patricia exclusive access. She has the keys. The showing lockbox code changes weekly. How could someone else be getting in? Tom, does anyone else have access? Former neighbors? Friends? Family? No. Well, Linda's nephew Marcus came by when we were packing up. Helped us move some furniture. He knew where we kept the spare key. Under the turtle planter by the garage. But he wouldn't do this. He's family. What's Marcus's last name? Chen. Marcus Chen. He's Patricia's younger brother, actually. That's how we connected with Coastal Realty. Marcus recommended his sister when we decided to sell. The pieces clicked together. Patricia Chen listed the house. Her brother Marcus knew where the spare key was hidden. Someone using the name Coastal Getaways was running illegal rentals. Marcus Chen was that someone, using his sister's legitimate business as cover, getting access through his family connection, making thousands of dollars, while the house sat supposedly empty on the market. Tom, I think your nephew Marcus is behind this. He's using the spare key to run Airbnbs without permission. Making money off your property illegally. That little... I helped him through college. Paid his tuition when his parents couldn't. And this is how he repays me. By stealing my house. We need proof. I'm going to watch the house this weekend. Document who comes and goes. Get photos. Then we'll confront him with evidence. We'll also need to report this to Airbnb and potentially the police. What he's doing is fraud, maybe even breaking and entering. I organized surveillance for the following weekend. Friday through Sunday, Frank Martinez volunteered to help. We set up in his truck, parked down the street. Sure enough, Friday at 3 p.m., a black Honda pulled up. Man in his 30s got out. Khaki pants, polo shirt, neat haircut. He walked straight to the turtle planter, reached underneath, retrieved the spare key, let himself in. We photographed everything. License plate. Face. The key retrieval, him going inside 10 at 5 p.m. Guests arrived. Minivan full of college kids. They were greeted by the same man. He gave them a tour, handed over keys, collected cash, then left. The party started at 8 p.m. Music, drinking, people in the yard. Same pattern as before. I called Patricia Chun's Saturday morning. Ms. Chun, I'm watching 23 Oak Ridge right now. A man matching your brother Marcus's description just let in a group of guests, using the spare key. He collected cash, then left. Your brother is running illegal Airbnbs out of your listing. Silence. Then crying. Actual crying. I had no idea. My God. Marcus has been asking about the house, asking when it'll sell, asking about showings. I thought he was just being helpful, being interested. He's been using my business as cover. He's been stealing from the family, from Tom, from me. Patricia, I need you to do something. Check your showing lockbox. Check if anyone's been accessing it. Check your key logs. See if there's evidence Marcus has been getting in other ways besides the spare key. She called back an hour later. Barba, it's worse than we thought. The lockbox has been accessed 63 times in 2 months. The code changes weekly, but someone keeps accessing it. The system logs IP addresses. I checked. It's Marcus's IP address. He's been logging into my account, using my credentials, getting the new code every week. He has complete access. How did he get your credentials? We share a family password manager. For emergencies, I never imagined he'd use it to steal from me, from our family. How could he do this? I contacted Airbnb customer service, spent 2 hours on hold, finally got through to a supervisor. Explained the situation. Fraud, unauthorized listing. Property owner had no knowledge. The supervisor was sympathetic, but bureaucratic. Ma'am, we take these situations seriously. However, we need the property owner to file a formal complaint. We need documentation proving ownership. We need evidence that the listing was unauthorized. Once we receive that, we can investigate. But we can't just shut down a listing based on a phone call. The property owner is Tom Morrison. He'll file whatever you need. But in the meantime, you have guests booking this property illegally. They're destroying a neighborhood, creating liability. Someone needs to stop this now. I understand your frustration, but we have protocols. Send the documentation to our fraud department. They'll review and respond within 7 to 10 business days. 7 to 10 business days. Meanwhile, Marcus was taking bookings for next weekend, and the weekend after that, and every weekend for the next 2 months, according to his calendar, making $300 per night, $900 per weekend, $3,600 per month. Over $70,000 if he kept this going for 2 years while the house sat on the market. I called an emergency HOA board meeting. Monday night. All 5 board members present, me as president. James Burke, the attorney, Sarah Wright, the treasurer, Miguel Santos, and Karen Phillips. I presented everything. The illegal Airbnbs, Marcus Chun, the fraud, the evidence. We have 2 options, James said. Civil action against Marcus personally and against Tom Morrison as property owner, or criminal charges. Fraud? Theft? Trespassing? Maybe both. But civil is slow. Criminal is complicated. Either way, this could take months to resolve. Months? Sarah looked horrified. We can't have parties every weekend for months. The neighborhood will revolt. Property values will crater. People will sue us for failing to enforce covenants. We need this stopped now. Not months from now. Miguel had an idea. What if we change the approach? What if instead of going after Marcus legally, we go after the guests, make it impossible for him to operate? Document every violation. Find the property owner. Create so much liability that continuing becomes impossible. HOA. Covenants, section, violations can be fined up to $1,000 per day. We document every single Airbnb booking, every noise violation, every parking violation, every guest over capacity. We fine Tom Morrison's property $1,000 per day for every day there's illegal activity. He's liable as property owner regardless of whether he knew about it. That's potentially $30,000 per month in fines. James looked impressed. Enough to put a lien on the property. Enough to force a sale. Enough to make Tom Morrison take immediate action to stop his nephew. Brilliant. We voted. Unanimous. Starting immediately. 23 Oak Ridge Drive would be fined $1,000 per day for each day of unauthorized occupancy. We'd document everything, photograph every guest, record every violation, build an ironclad case, force Tom Morrison to act. I called Tom in Arizona, explained the plan. He was devastated but understood. I'll confront Marcus. I'll get the key back. I'll change the locks. I'll do whatever it takes. But Barbara, please understand. This is my nephew. My blood. This is going to destroy our family. Tom, Marcus destroyed it already. He chose money over trust. Actions have consequences. Now we all have to deal with those consequences. That Friday night, another group arrived. Bachelor party this time. 15 guys. Expensive suits. Alcohol. Music. Same pattern. Frank and I documented everything. Photos. Video. Timestamps. Saturday morning I had packets delivered to 3 addresses. 1 to Tom Morrison in Arizona. Violation notice, $14,000 in fines accumulated over 2 weeks. 30 days to pay or a lien would be filed. 1 to Marcus Chen at his apartment address that Patricia provided. Cease and desist. Legal notice that he was trespassing, that fraud charges were being considered. And 1 to Airbnb corporate headquarters. Certified mail. Complete documentation. Photos. Evidence. Formal fraud complaint from property owner. Demand to shut down the listing immediately. What would you do if your neighbor's property was being used as an illegal party house, destroying your community? Drop a comment, because Part 2 reveals what happened when Marcus realized his scam was exposed, when the Airbnb guests who'd already paid demanded their money back, when Tom Morrison had to choose between family loyalty and legal liability, and when the HOA discovered Marcus wasn't working alone. Someone else in Lakeside Gardens was helping him, someone with access, someone with authority, someone who was about to make this situation much worse. My name is Barbara Mitchell, 54 years old, HOA president. I thought I was dealing with one criminal exploiting a vacant house. I had no idea I was uncovering a network, and the worst was yet to come. Marcus Chen called me at 7:43 a.m. on Tuesday morning. I was having coffee when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. But something made me pick up. Barbara Mitchell. Heavy breathing on the other end. Then a voice. Young, male, angry. You have no idea what you've done. You've ruined everything. Years of planning, months of work, thousands of dollars invested, and you destroyed it all with your nosy HOA busybody nonsense. I should sue you. I should sue the entire board. This is harassment. Marcus Chun, I presume? Silence. Your sister told me she's mortified. You stole from family, committed fraud. Everything I've done is legal. Everything you've done is criminal. Call your lawyer. I'll be waiting. I need this money. Have debts. That house was sitting empty, not hurting anyone. You hurt 312 families who bought homes expecting peaceful neighborhoods, not party houses. Whatever. You can't stop me. You think your little fines scare me. I've made over $60,000 in 2 months. I can pay your stupid fines and still come out ahead. The bookings keep coming. People love that house. I have reservations through September. You're too late. Actually, Airbnb shut down your listing yesterday. Corporate response to our fraud complaint. Your account is suspended pending investigation. Those reservations canceled. Those deposits being refunded. Your $60,000 side hustle over more silence than rage. Pure rage. You did what? Those were guaranteed bookings. I have contracts. People paid deposits. You can't just cancel them. Airbnb can. And did. Unauthorized property listings violate their terms of service. Fraud violates the law. You're done, Marcus. Accept it. He hung up, but the call left me uneasy. Something in his voice, desperation mixed with determination, like someone who wasn't ready to quit, who had too much invested to walk away. Who might do something stupid. I called Frank Martinez. Frank, I just got a threatening call from Marcus Chun. He's angry. Desperate. I think we need to increase security. At 23 Oak Ridge? Sure, no one enters that property. Watch for Marcus. He might try something. Already on it. I've got cameras set up. Motion sensors watching the house 24/7. If Marcus or anyone else shows up, we'll know immediately. Good. Because I don't trust him. He's not the type to accept defeat gracefully. Email from Patricia Chun. Ergen Marcus isn't working alone. Someone else accessing lockbox codes. Someone from Lakeside Gardens HOA office called Patricia. 2 different IP addresses. Marcus's apartment and Lakeside Gardens HOA office. Someone in your office accessing my system, getting codes, giving them to Marcus. My blood ran cold. Kelly Roberts, HOA Administrative Assistant. Kelly 20AT. Hired 2 years ago, Kayet Efficient had access to everything. Every resident file, property records. Security reports, IP logs show Kelly's computer accessed my system 47 times. She was stealing codes. Passing them to Marcus. They dated 3 years ago. Planned this together. I called another emergency board meeting. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Showed everyone the evidence. The IP logs, the access times, the connection between Marcus and Kelly. Everyone was stunned. James Burke especially. This is insider fraud. Conspiracy. Breach of fiduciary duty. Kelly had a legal obligation to protect HOA interests. Instead, she actively worked to undermine them. We need to fire her immediately. And press charges. We need to be careful, Sarah cautioned. If we fire her without proper documentation, she could sue for wrongful termination. We need to confront her, get her confession on record, build an airtight case, then terminate and prosecute. How do we get a confession? She just deny everything. Miguel had an idea. What if we set a trap? Tell Kelly we found unauthorized access on our system. Ask her to help investigate. See if she incriminates herself. Record the conversation. Florida is one-party consent for recording. As long as one person in the conversation knows it's being recorded, it's legal. We voted I would confront Kelly Wednesday morning. Wear a wire. Record everything. Try to get her to admit involvement. If she confessed, we'd have everything we needed for termination and criminal charges. Wednesday morning, I arrived at the HOA office at 8 a.m. Kelly was already there. Coffee brewing, computer on gay, sorting through yesterday's mail. She smiled when I walked in. "Morning, Barbara." "Coffee." "No thanks." "Kelly, we need to talk." "Close the door." Her smile faded. "Is everything okay?" "I'm not sure. We discovered something concerning someone has been accessing our computer systems without authorization. Specifically, someone accessed Coastal Realty's lockbox code system 47 times in 2 months, using your computer. Your login credentials." Kelly went pale. I don't understand." "How is that possible?" "That's what I'm trying to figure out. Did you access Coastal Realty's system? Did you look up lockbox codes for 23 Oak Ridge Drive?" "No, absolutely not." "Why would I do that?" "I don't know. Maybe you were helping someone." "Maybe Marcus Chen?" Her face gave her away. Instant recognition. Fear. Panic. "I don't know anyone named Marcus Chen." "Kelly, I know you dated him 3 years ago. I know you've been working together. I know you've been stealing lockbox codes and giving them to him. I know about the Airbnb operation. I know everything!" She started crying. Real tears. "I didn't mean for it to go this far. Marcus said it was just temporary, just until he paid off his debts. He said no one would get hurt. He said we'd make quick money and then stop. I needed the money too. My student loans, my credit cards. I was drowning. So you betrayed the community that employed you. You helped someone run an illegal operation that destroyed neighborhood peace. You violated every ethical obligation you had. For money? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It started small, just one booking. But then it kept going. More and more. I wanted to stop, but Marcus said we were in too deep. Said if I backed out, he'd tell everyone I was involved. I felt trapped. Kelly, I need you to tell me everything. Every time you accessed those codes. Every time you communicated with Marcus. Every dollar you made. If you cooperate fully, maybe the board will show leniency. Maybe we won't press criminal charges. But you need to be completely honest right now. She confessed everything. Started April. Marcus pitched idea. 60-40 split profits. She'd provide codes. He'd manage bookings. She made $24,000. Cash. No taxes. Complete fraud. Did Marcus threaten you? No. I agreed willingly. Needeth money. Didn't realize how bad it would get. By the time I understood, I was already guilty. Couldn't get out. Write everything down. Sign it. Date it. Testify if needed. Full cooperation. Only option. She nodded. Spent an hour writing confession. 6 pages. Every booking. Every code. Every payment. Signed, dated, board emergency session. Kelly fired immediately. Left crying, box of belongings. Frank escorted her out. Criminal charges. Miguel Asquez. She cooperated. She committed fraud, James said. Multiple felonies. Will recommend leniency, but must report. I called Detective Sarah Park with the county sheriff's office. Explained everything. Marcus Chen. Kelly Roberts. The conspiracy, the fraud, the $60,000. She took notes carefully. Ms. Mitchell. This is bigger than I thought. Multiple felonies. Conspiracy. Fraud. Theft. Trespassing. Both of them are looking at serious prison time. I'll coordinate with the prosecutor's office. We'll want formal statements from you. Patricia Chen, Tom Morrison, and Kelly Roberts. Kelly already wrote a confession. 6 pages. Signed, perfect. That'll help. We'll file charges by Friday. Arrest warrants for both Marcus Chen and Kelly Roberts. They're not flight risks yet, but we can't take chances. Marcus especially, he's desperate. Desperate people do unpredictable things. That evening, I got a text from an unknown number. Photo attachment. I opened it. The photo showed my house. My car in the driveway, taken from across the street, zoomed in. Recent. Then a message. You should be more careful. Bad things happen to people who interfere in business that doesn't concern them. Drop the charges. Stop the fines, or this gets ugly. I forwarded it immediately to Detective Park. She called back in minutes. Barbara, this is a direct threat. Clear intimidation. We're escalating this to priority investigation. I'm sending a deputy to your house for immediate protection. Don't go anywhere alone tonight. Vary your routine. Lock all doors and windows. Marcus Chen is desperate and dangerous. We need to bring him in now, before this escalates further. Can you trace the number? It's a burner phone, purchased with cash. Untraceable. But the photo metadata shows exact location. Taken from the Henderson property directly across from your house. Marcus was physically surveilling you. Just hours ago. Taking photos. Stalking you. This adds stalking and witness intimidation to his growing list of charges. A deputy arrived within 20 minutes. Young Sirius parked in my driveway. Visible de terrend. Frank Martinez also came by. Set up extra cameras around my house. Motion, activated lights. Made sure every door and window was secure. Barbara, you need to consider staying somewhere else. Friend's house. Hotel. Somewhere. Marcus doesn't know until he's arrested. For your safety, absolutely not. I won't be driven from my home by some punk kid who thinks he can threaten me. We're doing this legally. Following proper procedures, Marcus is the one who should be scared. Not me, but I was scared. I didn't show it. But lying in bed that night, hearing every creak and rustle, I was terrified. Marcus had $60,000 in illegal profits. He had nothing to lose. He'd already committed multiple felonies. What was one more? What if he escalated? What if threats became violence? Thursday morning, Detective Park called. We executed the arrest warrant at 6 a.m. Marcus's apartment. He wasn't there. Place was cleared out. Clothes gone. Computer gone. Cash gone. His car is gone. Barbara Marcathran. He's in the wind. What about Kelly? She's in custody. Arrested at her apartment. No receipt. She's cooperating fully. But Marcus must have known we were coming. He had advance warning somehow. Cleared out overnight. We've issued an APB. Put alerts on his credit cards and bank accounts. But if he's smart, he's using cash. Could be anywhere. So he's out there hungry and desperate, with nothing to lose. And he knows where I live. We'll protect you. 24-hour surveillance. But yes, Marcus is dangerous. And now, he's on the run. This situation just got much worse. Tom Morrison arrived from Arizona, looked 20 years older. Gray? Exhausted. Barbara? Sorry. My fault. Trusted Marcus, helped him through college. Treated him like a son. He destroyed everything. You couldn't have known. Linda used to say Marcus had a mean streak. I always defended him. She was right. Always right. We changed all the locks at 23 Oak Ridge. Tom personally handed me the only keys. This house is cursed now. Tainted by what Marcus did. I'm selling it as soon as possible. Whatever price I can get. I just want it gone. Want this whole nightmare over? Tom, the house isn't the problem. Marcus is... and he's still out there. What do you mean? He ran. Cleared out his apartment before police arrived. He's on the run, probably with cash from the illegal bookings. Could be anywhere. Tom looked stricken. Oh, God. You don't think he'd come back here, do you? Try to get in the house. Try to continue the operation. I don't know. But we're watching. Cameras, security, deputies patrolling. If Marcus shows his face, we'll know. Friday night at 11:37 p.m., Frank's security cameras caught movement at 23 Oak Ridge. A figure approaching the house from the backyard, wearing dark clothes, moving quickly but carefully. Frank called me immediately. "Barbara, someone's at the Morrison house. Breaking in through the back door. I'm calling 911 and heading over there now." "Frank, wait for police. Don't confront them alone. I'm just going to observe. Maintain visual. Get photos. They're breaking into private property. We need evidence." I called Detective Park, told her what was happening. She dispatched units immediately. "Barbara, stay home. Let professionals handle this. Do not go to that property." Understood, understood. But I couldn't just wait. I drove toward Oak Ridge. Parked 2 blocks away, walked quietly. Saw Frank's truck parked on the street. Saw the Morrison house, dark, except for a flashlight beam moving inside. Saw 3 sheriff's cruisers approaching with lights off. Silent tactical response. The deputies surrounded the house, ordered the person inside to exit with hands up. Long, tense moment. Then the back door opened. Figure emerged. Hands raised. Deputies moved in. Shouted commands. Forced the person to ground. Handcuffs. They brought him to street under lights. I saw his face. It wasn't Marcus. It was a kid. Teenager. Maybe 17. Scared. Crying. I didn't mean anything. Marcus paid me $200 to get some stuff from inside. Said it was his stuff. Said he had permission. I didn't know it was illegal. Please, don't arrest me. Who's Marcus? Where is he? The kid pulled out his phone, showed text messages from Marcus Chen. Instructions, directions, payment, details. He said he's leaving Florida. Going to Mexico. Needs his stuff from the house before he leaves. I thought I was just helping a friend move. Mexico? Marcus was fleeing the country, taking his illegal profits and running. $60,000 would last a long time in Mexico. Far from American jurisdiction, far from consequences, far from justice. What would you do if the criminal targeting your community fled to another country with stolen money? Drop a comment, because Part 3 reveals how Marcus's escape plan unraveled, how Kelly Roberts' testimony brought down the whole conspiracy, how a random traffic stop in Georgia changed everything, and how the Airbnb nightmare finally ended. But not before one final confrontation that put Barbara's life in danger. Because Marcus didn't go to Mexico. He went somewhere much closer and much more dangerous. My name is Barbara Mitchell, 54 years old, HOA president. I thought Marcus running meant the danger was over. I had no idea the worst was still coming, and that final showdown was just 48 hours away. The 17-year-old kid sat in the interview room crying. Tyler Bennett, high school senior. Good grades, no record. Dumb kid helping a friend move. Detective Park gave him a warning and community service. But his phone gave us everything. Text messages from Marcus, instructions, payments, and one crucial detail. Marcus said he needed stuff before leaving for Mexico. Before leaving, present tense. Marcus hadn't left yet, still in Florida, still close, planning escape. Detective Park realized it immediately. He's not gone, he's hiding. Waiting for something, probably waiting to collect more cash. He can't access bank accounts anymore. We froze everything. So, he needs physical cash, and there's only one place he can get it. Kelly, I said. Kelly has $24,000. Cash from the illegal bookings. Marcus wants his share before running. Kelly's in custody, but she hasn't told us where the money is. We asked. She refused. Said it was safe. Said Marcus couldn't get it, but if she has it hidden somewhere, and Marcus knows where, he'll go for it. And when he does, we'll catch him. Kelly was at county jail. No bail. Flight risk, charged with conspiracy, fraud, theft, computer crimes. Facing 15 years. Could reduce by cooperating. Be testifying by revealing the money. Detective Park and I visited Sunday. She looked terrible. Orange jumpsuit. No makeup. Breath. Ice. Hands shaking behind plexiglass. Kelly, we know Marcus is still in Florida. We know he's going to try to get the cash. We need you to tell us where it is. We need to set a trap. Catch him. End this. She shook her head. I can't. If I tell you, I lose my only leverage. The money is the only thing protecting me. If Marcus gets caught without it, he'll blame everything on me. Say, I masterminded it. Say, I forced him. I need that money to prove my cooperation was real. Kelly, you already confessed. You already admitted everything. The money doesn't protect you anymore. It just makes you look worse, like you're still trying to profit from crime. Give it up. Help us catch Marcus. The prosecutor will see you're truly cooperating. Will recommend minimum sentence, maybe even probation. She considered it. Long silence. Finally, nodded. It's in my storage unit. Public storage, on Highway 41. Unit 217. My lock combination is 15-30-2-8. The money is in a blue duffel bag hidden under camping equipment. $24,000. All cash, small bills. Does Marcus know about the storage unit? Yes. I told him that's where I was keeping it. Safe. Off-site. Away from my apartment where someone might find it. He has the address. He doesn't have the combination, but he could cut the lock. Break in. Perfect trap. Detective Park got warrant, coordinated with facility, set up cameras inside Unit 217. Motion sensors. Moment Marcus entered, we'd know. Deputies would respond. Caught in the act. Monday, the trap was set. 3 deputies in unmarked vehicles. Cameras, streaming. We waited hours. Tuesday morning, nothing. Maybe, Marcus suspected. Maybe he'd left. Then Tuesday at 2:17 p.m., the motion sensor triggered. Someone was at the storage facility. Detective Park's radio crackled. Suspect approaching Unit 217. Male 30s. Marcus Chen's description. Wearing dark clothes. Hat. Sunglasses. Carrying bolt cutters. We watched on laptop screen. Marcus approached Kelly's unit. Looked around nervously. Checked his phone, then pulled out the bolt cutters. Cut through the padlock in seconds. Opened the rolling door. Stepped inside. Saw the camping equipment. Started pulling it aside. Looking for the blue duffel bag. Deputies moved in silently. Surrounded the storage unit. Weapons drawn. Marcus Chen. This is the sheriff's department. You're under arrest. Exit the unit with your hands up. Do not reach for anything. Move slowly. Marcus froze. Then bolted. Grabbed duffel bag. Sprinted deeper into facility. Deputies chasing. Suspect fleeing on foot. In pursuit. Storage facility was a maze. Hundreds of units. Narrow corridors. Perfect place to get lost. But deputies knew every exit. Had them covered. Marcus was trapped. They cornered him at the back fence. Nowhere to run. Duffel bag clutched to his chest. Deputies closing in from 3 sides. He looked desperate. Cornered animal. I watched from Detective Park's car on the laptop feed. Saw Marcus's face. Saw him realize he'd lost. Marcus Chen. Drop the bag. Put your hands on your head. Get on your knees. Do it now. He did. Slowly. Carefully. dropped the bag, knelt. Hands on head. Deputies moved in. Handcuffs, Miranda writes. Arrested. Finally, they brought him out in handcuffs, put him in the back of a cruiser. As they drove past Detective Park's car, I saw his face through the window. He saw me. Our eyes met. His expression wasn't angry anymore. Who'sd the Fiat had broken. Like he finally understood the consequences were real, that running hadn't worked, that it was over. The blue duffel bag contained $23,800. Kelly had spent $200 on groceries. Every dollar photographed, cataloged, evidence. Marcus was booked on 11 charges: breaking and entering, theft, fraud, conspiracy, computer crimes, witness intimidation, stalking, flight risk, no bail. Held until trial. Kelly Roberts' attorney negotiated a plea deal. Full cooperation. Testimony against Marcus. Surrender all profits. In exchange, reduced charges. 5 years probation. No prison time, community service. Restitution payments. She'd lose her career, her reputation, her future in Florida, but she'd avoid prison. For someone facing 15 years, it was a gift. Marcus's attorney tried negotiating. Prosecutors refused. They had everything: Kelly's confession, video, text messages, financials, testimony from everyone. Airtight case, offered 7 years minimum. Marcus refused. Wanted trial. Trial scheduled September 2024. 3 months away. Lakeside Gardens returned to normal slowly. 23 Oak Ridge, empty. Tom's price dropped to $425,000, then $395,000. House tainted. No buyers wanted that baggage. I felt terrible for Tom. He'd lost his wife, been betrayed by family, now couldn't sell his house. Tom, I'm so sorry. This has destroyed everything for you. He shook his head. Tired. Resigned. Not everything. I still have my daughter, my grandkids, my memories of Linda. Marcus destroyed property and money. Those are replaceable. What I lost, that can't be replaced, is trust. Knowing family can betray you, that's the real damage. Will you testify at trial? Absolutely. Marcus needs to face consequences. Needs to hear from me personally how much damage he caused. Not justome, to Linda's memory, to our family name. He dishonored everything we stood for. Trial began September 16th. Federal Courthouse, Tampa. I attended daily. Tom Morrison, Patricia Chen, Frank Martinez, board members, all there. Prosecutor Jennifer Walsh, 45, 20 years experience. Brilliant. Her opening laid out the conspiracy, Marcus and Kelly's plan. Exploiting Tom's trust. Using HOA access, $84,000 profit. Neighborhood destruction. Jury listened intently. 12 disgusted faces. Marcus's attorney, Daniel Foster, a court-appointed public defender, tried damage control. Ladies and gentlemen, my client made mistakes, poor hoodwinked. But this was not malicious conspiracy. This was a young man drowning in debt trying to survive. The HOA overreacted, turned civil violations into criminal charges. Yes, Marcus ran Airbnbs without permission. That's a civil matter, not criminal. The first witness was Tom Morrison, walked slowly to the stand. 73 years old, looked older, testified about trusting Marcus, helping him through college, giving him access to the house, never suspecting he'd exploit it. I treated him like a son, and he treated my home like an ATM. Stole from me while I grieved my wife. That's not poor judgment, that's calculated theft. Patricia Chen testified next, explained the lockbox system, how Marcus used her credentials. how Kelly systematically stole codes. They turned my business into their criminal enterprise, used my reputation as cover. Clients who'd booked through what they thought was my legitimate service were actually funding fraud. It damaged my business, my family, my integrity. Then Kelly Roberts took the stand, wearing a conservative dress, hair neat, no makeup, looking scared. She testified for 4 hours, described how Marcus pitched the idea, how they planned everything, how she provided access, how they split money, how it escalated from one booking to dozens, how she wanted to stop but felt trapped. "Why did you agree to participate?" Walsh asked. "I had $80,000 in student loans, $23,000 in credit card debt. Marcus said we could make quick money, pay off debts. No one would get hurt. I was stupid, desperate. I made terrible choices. I betrayed people who trusted me. I'm deeply ashamed." Marcus's attorney cross-examined aggressively. "Ms. Roberts, isn't it true you're testifying in exchange for avoiding prison?" "Yes. So you have every reason to lie, to blame everything on Marcus to save yourself." "I'm not lying. I'm taking responsibility. Yes, I got a deal, but I earned it by telling the truth. Marcus planned this. I helped him. We're both guilty." Airbnb guests testified. Bachelorette parties, bachelor parties. College kids, all booked luxurious lakeside retreat. Met Marcus, paid cash. Threw parties. Had no idea it was illegal. Neighbors testified. David Henderson, property values dropped $30,000. Yamamoto family, elderly couple. Couldn't sleep. Music every weekend. Felt unsafe in our own home. I testified last. Described the HOA's response. The complaints, the investigation. The fines. The discovery of Kelly's involvement. Marcus's threats. The photo of my house. The fear. Marcus didn't just break rules. He weaponized a vacant house to terrorize an entire community. 312 families suffered because he wanted quick money. That's not poor judgment. That's sociopathic behavior. The defense called one witness, Marcus's mother, sweet woman, late 60s, crying on the stand. "My son is not a bad person. He made mistakes, but he's been under terrible stress, lost his job, accumulated debts. He was desperate. Please show mercy." It was heartbreaking. But it didn't change the facts. Desperation doesn't justify fraud. Closing arguments took all day. Walsh reviewed every evidence piece, every text, every transaction, every witness. Marcus Chen exploited trust, manipulated systems, destroyed lives for profit, had opportunities to stop, instead ran, threatened witnesses, not desperation. Consciousness of guilt. Foster's closing was emotional but weak. Does he deserve 7 years for running Airbnb? Excessive. Vindictive. Yes, fine him. Probation. Restitution. But don't destroy his life with prison. The jury deliberated for 6 hours, came back at 4:27 p.m. Guilty on all 11 counts. Marcus sat motionless. His mother sobbed. Tom Morrison nodded slowly. Patricia Chun exhaled deeply. I felt relief, but no joy. Justice wasn't joyful. It was just necessary. Sentencing was scheduled for November 15th. 6 weeks away. Federal sentencing guidelines suggested 5 to 7 years. Restitution of $84,000 to victims, supervised release after prison. Permanent criminal record. At 33 years old, Marcus would be 40 when he got out. His entire 30s wasted. After verdict, Tom Morrison approached Marcus's mother in hallway. I watched from distance, saw Tom hug her crying on his shoulder, him patting her back. Later, Tom told me, "Your son hurt me, but I don't hate him. I pity him. He threw away his life for money." That's Tragic. Hope prison teaches him what really matters. Family, honor, trust. Kelly Roberts completed her first month of probation. Got a job at a call center. Minimum wage. Paid her restitution in monthly installments. $100 a month for the next 20 years. She'd never work in property management again. Background checks would doom her, but she avoided prison. For someone who'd committed serious felonies, that was remarkably fortunate. 23 Oak Ridge Drive finally sold in October. Cash buyer. $345,000. $70,000 under original listing. Tom took the loss. Just wanted it done. Wanted to move on. The new owners were a young couple from Atlanta. No HOA baggage. No knowledge of the house's history. Fresh start. Marcus's sentencing hearing was packed. Tom Morrison there. Patricia Chen. Kelly Roberts. Me. Frank Martinez. Board members. Neighbors. Victims. Everyone who'd been impacted wanted to speak. Federal Judge Catherine Miller presided. 60 at Stern. Fair. Known for appropriate sentences. Walsh recommended 7 years. Your Honor, Marcus Chen showed no remorse. Fled from responsibility. Threatened witnesses. This wasn't youthful indecision. This was calculated predatory behavior. 7 years sends a message. Crime has consequences. Foster asked for 2 years. Your Honor, my client is deeply sorry. He made terrible choices. But he's not dangerous, not violent. House arrest, community service, probation. Don't warehouse him in federal prison. Judge Miller listened to victim impact statements. Tom Morrison. I helped raise this boy. Loved him. He repaid that. Love with betrayal. I want him to serve time, not for revenge. For redemption, he needs to understand consequences. Learn empathy. Become better. Then Marcus spoke. First time hearing his voice since the phone call months ago. I'm sorry. To my uncle. To Patricia. To Kelly. To everyone I heard. I was selfish. Arrogant. Thought I was smarter than everyone. I was wrong. I destroyed lives for money I didn't need. Money I've already lost. I have nothing now. No career, no family, no future. I accept whatever punishment you give. I deserve it! Judge Miller sentenced him to 5 years federal prison, 3 years supervised release. $84,000 restitution. Mr. Chen, you're intelligent, educated. Had opportunities most people don't get. Yet you chose crime. Chose to exploit vulnerable people. I'm giving you 5 years to reflect on those choices, to rebuild your character, to find redemption. Don't waste this chance. What would you do if the person who terrorized your community finally faced justice but you felt no satisfaction? Drop a comment. Because Part 4 reveals what happened after Marcus went to prison. How the community healed. How Tom Morrison found peace. How an unexpected act of mercy changed everything. And how 3 years later, a letter arrived that made Barbara question everything she thought she knew about justice, punishment, and redemption. My name is Barbara Mitchell. 54 years old, HOA president. I thought winning in court meant winning. I had no idea the hardest part was just beginning. The part where you forgive. 3 years later, November 20, the mailman delivered a letter to my house on a Tuesday morning. Plain white envelope. No return address. Federal prison stamp. FCI Coleman Medium in Florida. Inmate number on the back. I almost threw it away. Assumed it was junk mail. Prison scam. Something fake. But something made me open it. The handwriting was neat. Careful. Dear Ms. Mitchell, you don't know me anymore. The Marcus Chen who threatened you, who destroyed your community for money, that person is gone. Prison changes people. Sometimes better, I'd like to think I'm the second kind. I sat down. Coffee cooling. Read 4 pages. Marcus wrote about his first year. Fear. Isolation. Violence. Kept his head down. Worked prison library. Took online courses. Earned associate's degree in social work. Spent 18 months angry. At you. At prosecutor. At everyone except myself. Then in met Robert, 58, serving 24 fraud. Asked what I'd done, I told him. He laughed. Said, "Kid, you stole from family, terrorized neighborhoods, threatened women. You think you're a victim?" Told me about his crimes. Defrauded investors. Destroyed retirements. Caused suicides. Difference is, I knew I was hurting people. You didn't think at all. Not sure which is worse. That broke something in me. Made me realize I'd never considered human cost. Henderson's losing sleep. Yamamoto's feeling unsafe. Tom losing trust. You receiving threats. I'd reduced everyone to obstacles. Not real people with real lives I was destroying. Marcus wrote about therapy. Prison mental health limited but found counselor. 2 years working through narcissism, entitlement, lack of empathy. Learned antisocial behavior and instrumental aggression. Understood he'd been textbook writing because I'm up for early release. Good Vierbjörn. Completed programs. 3 years served. Parole hearing December 15th. My attorney says, good chance, but I don't deserve release unless the people I hurt know I've changed, unless I've made actual amends. Written similar letters to Tom, Patricia, David Henderson, others. Not asking forgiveness. Don't deserve that. Asking for chance to show I'm different, to prove prison rehabilitated me. If you're willing to meet, I'd be grateful. If not, I understand. Either way, genuinely sorry. The letter was signed simply, Marcus Chen, inmate 379421. I didn't know what to feel. Anger, relief, suspicion. 3 years ago, Marcus had threatened me, stalked me, made me afraid in my own home. Now he was apologizing, claiming change, wanting early release. Was it genuine? Or manipulation? Another con from someone who'd proven he was good at cons. I called Tom Morrison, 76. Now, still Arizona. Retired. Tom, did you get Marcus's letter? Silence. Yes. Yesterday. Didn't sleep. Part of me wants to believe. Part thinks it's prison talk. Are you writing back? Already did. Told him I'd attend hearing. Not to support release. To speak my truth, board needs to hear from victims. Do you think he's changed? Tom was quiet for a long time. I think prison is hard. I think spending 3 years locked up at 33 years old is devastating. I think anyone would say anything to get out. Whether he's actually different? I don't know, but I owe it to Linda's memory to make sure the parole board knows the full story. Called Patricia Chen. She'd rebuilt her business. Scandal actually brought attention. Patricia, Marcus's letter. What are you thinking? Thinking he's my brother. Love him despite everything. He destroyed our reputation, all simultaneously exhausting. Going to hearing, yes. To support him, because he's family. Because our mother asked, can't completely abandon him. David Henderson hadn't received a letter. Neither had the Yamamotos. Marcus had been selective, written only to the people with the most influence, the people whose testimony might sway a parole board. That calculation bothered me, showed he was still thinking strategically, still manipulating. I spent 2 weeks debating right back. Ignore it. Attend a hearing. Finally, I decided either go. Not to support early release, but to make sure the board understood the lasting impact, that 3 years in prison didn't erase the damage, that victims deserve to know someone served their full sentence. December 5th, Federal Correctional Institution, Coleman, 2 hours north of Tampa. I drove up with Tom Morrison. We didn't talk much during the drive, both lost in thought, wondering what we'd see. Would Marcus look different? Sound different? Would we recognize genuine change or spot manipulation? The hearing room was small, institutional. 3 parole board members behind a table. Marcus in prison khakis, clean-shaven, short hair, thinner than I remembered. Eyes different, harder, prison eyes. He looked at me when I entered, nodded slightly. No smile, no anger. Just acknowledgement. His attorney presented first, described Marcus's exemplary behavior, educational achievements, therapy completion, vocational training, 0 disciplinary incidents, full restitution payment plan arranged, job offer from a non-profit waiting if released, supportive family ready to help transition. Mr. Chen has done everything the system asks. He's not the same person who committed these crimes. He's rehabilitated. Keeping him incarcerated for 2 more years serves no purpose except punishment. The goal is rehabilitation. That's been achieved. Release him. Then the victims spoke. Tom Morrison stood first, hands shaken slightly. 3 years ago, my nephew betrayed me in the worst possible way. While I grieved my wife, he stole from me, used my trust as a weapon, made money off my pain. He deserves his full sentence, not because I'm vindictive, because consequences matter, because 5 years was already lenient for what he did. That said, I've read his letter, seen signs of change. If this board releases him, I won't stand in way, but I won't support it. He can prove himself outside, on supervised release, when full sentence is served. Not by talking in controlled environment, but demonstrating it in real world where temptation exists. Patricia spoke next, crying. Marcus is my little brother. Watched him make terrible choices, hurt people, destroy our name, but also watched him spend 3 years in prison. Seen letters, heard therapy progress. I think he's changed. Prison broke him in necessary ways, but he needs structure, accountability. I'm asking this board to release him to supervised probation, halfway house, intensive monitoring, give him chance to prove change with strict oversight. Then it was my turn. I stood, looked directly at Marcus. 3 years ago you sent me a photo of my house. A threat. Made me afraid in my own home. I'm a woman in my 50s, living alone. You terrorized me. That fear doesn't disappear because you completed therapy. You've written a nice letter, said the right things. Maybe you mean them. Maybe you've actually changed. But I've learned that people who manipulate once can manipulate again. People who threaten women don't suddenly become safe because they read books in prison. I'm asking this board to deny early release, make him serve his full sentence. Then we'll see if change is real or just performance. Marcus was allowed to respond. He stood slowly, looked at each of us. I don't blame any of you for doubting me. I earned that doubt. I was a terrible person who did terrible things. No justification. No excuses, just facts. I've spent 3 years trying to understand why. Why money mattered more than people. Why I'd threaten a woman. Why I'd steal from family. Answer isn't pretty. I was fundamentally broken. Narcissistic. Entitled. Prison didn't break me. I was already broken. Prison forced me to see it. Not asking sympathy. Asking for chance to prove change outside these walls. But I understand, if you say no, I'll accept that. Use that time to keep working. Keep becoming someone worthy of freedom. The board deliberated for 20 minutes. We waited in the hallway. Tom paced. Patricia cried quietly. I stood at the window, looking at the prison yard. Watching inmates walk in circles, counting down time. wondering which would leave different and which would leave the same, just older. The board called us back. Chairman spoke. Late 50s. Gray beard. Serious expression. Mr. Chen, this board has reviewed your case thoroughly. Your institutional record is impressive. Your rehabilitation efforts are documented. Your support system is strong. However, the severity of your original crimes and the lasting impact on victims cannot be minimized. We've decided to grant conditional early release effective February 1st, 2028. You'll be released to a halfway house in Tampa. 6 months, mandatory residence, daily employment requirement, continued therapy, intensive supervised probation for remaining 2 years of your sentence. Any violation results in immediate reincarceration to serve full time. Marcus nodded. Thank you. I won't disappoint you. The chairman continued. Mr. Chen, we're not releasing you because you deserve it. We're releasing you because the purpose of prison is rehabilitation. You've demonstrated rehabilitation in controlled environment. Now you need to demonstrate it in real world. Fail. And you'll be back here, serving full time plus additional charges. Understand? I understand. Thank you. We left the hearing in silence. Got in Tom's car, drove 10 miles before either of us spoke. Finally, Tom said, I don't know how to feel. Part of me wanted them to deny it. Keep him locked up. Part of me thinks maybe he has changed. Maybe prison worked. I think the halfway house requirement was smart, I said. Gives him structure. Supervision. Proves he can handle freedom gradually. But I'm still skeptical. Therapy in prison is easy. Real world is hard. February 1st came quickly. Marcus was released to tomorrow's Hope halfway house in Tampa, 26 residents. Strict rules. Curfew. Random drug testing. Required employment. Mandatory therapy. He got a job at a community center teaching computer skills to at-risk youth. Minimum wage, 40 hours a week. I didn't reach out. Didn't follow his progress. Tried to move on. But Lakeside Gardens had changed too. Kelly Roberts had completed her probation, paid her restitution in full. Moved to Georgia. Started over. Never returned to Florida. Last I heard, she was working at a library. Quiet life? Trying to forget. Tom Morrison sold his last remaining ties to Florida. Fully committed to Arizona. His daughter appreciated having him close. Grandchildren loved having Grandpa nearby. He'd made peace with Marcus's release. I can't carry anger forever. It's too heavy. I don't forgive him, but I don't hate him either. I'm just done. Moving forward. Focusing on family that matters. The Morrison house had been renovated completely by the new owners. Modern updates. Different paint. New landscaping. You'd never know it had been the center of scandal. Neighbors had forgotten mostly. New families moved in. Turnover happens. Stories fade. Life continues. 8 months after Marcus's release, I got another letter. Handwritten again. Different return address. Tomorrow's Hope. Ms. Mitchell, I've been out for 8 months. Working, staying clean, following every rule. I don't expect you to care, but I wanted you to know I'm keeping my promises. I'm different. I'm trying. I teach kids computer skills, kids from difficult backgrounds, kids who've made bad choices. I see myself in them. The entitlement, the shortcuts, the belief rules don't apply. I try to show them different path. Try to be example of what happens when you ignore consequences. When you prioritize money over people, I'll be on supervised probation for 18 more months. Then, technically free, but I'll never be free from what I did. That's my life sentence. Living with knowledge, I hurt good people, that I can never undo that damage. Best I can do is try to prevent others from making same mistakes. I don't want anything from you. Just wanted you to know. Thank you for going to my hearing. For speaking truth, I needed to hear it. Needed reminder of the real impact that helped me more than support would have. Take care, Marcus I wrote back this time. Short note, Marcus I. Appreciate the update. I hope you continue making better choices. The kids you're teaching are lucky to have someone who understands consequences firsthand. I won't forget what you did, but I acknowledge you're trying to be different. That's all anyone can do. Good luck. Barbara. A year later, I saw Marcus at a community event. Violence Prevention Workshop at the public library. He was speaking to a small group of teens, talking about his crimes, his arrest, his trial, prison, the mistakes that led there. He saw me in the back, nodded again. Same slight acknowledgement. After the presentation, I approached Ms. Mitchell. Thank you for coming. I'm not here for you. I'm here because I serve on the library board. This is my event. I know. But still, thank you. We stood awkwardly. What do you say to someone who terrorized you, who's now supposedly reformed? Are you really different, Marcus? Or is this just another performance? He didn't get defensive, didn't make excuses. Honestly, I don't know yet. I think I'm different. I feel different. But I haven't faced real temptation, haven't been desperate again, haven't had opportunity to take shortcuts. Ask me in 5 years. If I'm still working minimum wage teaching kids, still following rules, still sober and employed, then maybe I'm actually different. That honesty was more convincing than any rehearsed speech. Fair enough. 5 years. We'll see. He smiled slightly. Fair enough. What would you do if the person who destroyed your peace told you they'd changed, but only time would prove it? Drop a comment, because this story isn't really about crime or punishment. It's about whether people can actually change. Whether redemption is real or just something we want to believe. Marcus Chen served 3 years in prison, got early release. Says he's different. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. But the truth is, we won't know for years. Change isn't a moment. It's a process. It's choosing differently every single day when no one's watching. When it's hard, when shortcuts exist, that's when you see if rehabilitation worked not in prison, not in halfway houses, in real life. When consequences aren't immediate but still matter. My name is Barbara Mitchell. 57 years old now. HOA president. I've seen criminals arrested, tried, convicted, released. Some change, some don't. Marcus Chen claims he's changed. I'm cautiously hopeful, but I'm also cautious, because trust isn't rebuilt with words. It's rebuilt with years of consistent actions, years of choosing right when wrong is easier. The Airbnb nightmare is over. The house is sold. The criminals are punished. The neighborhood is peaceful again. But the bigger question remains, can someone who hurt people badly become someone who helps people genuinely? I don't know, but I hope so, because if people like Marcus can't change, what's the point of any of this? Prison, parole, rehabilitation. It only matters if change is actually possible. 3 years from now, I'll know. Marcus will be off probation, free to make choices without supervision. That's when we'll see who he really is, who he's become. Until then, I'm watching, hoping, but not quite believing. Not yet. Not yet.